Thank you, Matthew. And I'm going to try to move quickly here because Makiba Barnes and I, you'll get to work with us quite a bit this year. In a normal admission season, you would do that. What you're not necessarily getting is that tour of campus during the day. You don't get to see our kids in classrooms. And we're not going to have as many opportunities to meet in person, of course. And so the most important part of this program is for you to hear from the division. But as Matthew said, this is an introduction for a lot of families. It's the first time that they're learning about Key School. And so there is just some stats that I want to cover just so that we have a chance to give you a sense of who we are. The opening slideshow, not only was it helpful to help all the folks get onto the webinar, it also gives people a sense of what campus looks like and what our kids look like in the classrooms, and the teachers are down next to them, really learning with them. And so again, we're going to show you another video, actually two more videos throughout this program to give you that glimpse into the classroom. This photo actually was taken 30 minutes before our first school open house outside my office. I've got the best view on campus. I just wanted to, again, because we miss having you on campus, I wanted to take a picture that was somewhat live so you could see campus. But I want to move ahead and talk about the numbers. So Key School, we start with 2.5-year-olds, which we call Kiwi. They're not quite preschoolers yet. We go Kiwi through 12th grade. There's 645 students. We have 111 faculty. And as you'll see, the average grade, average class size is 16. And that ratio of 6-to-1, it actually fluctuates a little bit. I believe in the lower school, it's actually 5-to-1. And that's a really important ratio. Parents often ask when they see that number, sometimes the assumption is that the class sizes could be close to that. It's actually, it's more about the specialists, the folks that will have an opportunity to work with your children outside of the homeroom teachers. And that's really important. And it's never been so important as this year when we needed to break into small pods in order to operate. That was the moment where our 15-acre campus and all of our buildings and all of our amazing faculty rolled up their sleeves and were willing to spread out with the kids so that we could have them on campus. So on a normal year, I would tell parents this is a really important statistic to ask schools, but this year we saw exactly how important that would be. Student body snapshot. This is also something that's neat. A lot of families aren't aware that our kids are coming from so many different places. Not only are they moving to Maryland from other states, from overseas, we have kids coming from 264 different sending schools. And so we really do have a diversity of thought and diversity when it comes to students of color. 35% of our student population identify as students of color. And that number is growing, which is really exciting. So we see a really great diverse group of families coming through the admission process every year. And again, as a school in Annapolis, out on the Annapolis neck, it's really neat to see how far people are coming to Key School from. And we do have transportation to help with that. The admission season. So last admission season, I always like to do a snapshot for families just to give them a sense of what our typical years look like. 127 new students. That group came from 71 different sending schools. Again, we're not getting large groups of students from any one particular school. So it's really nice. It helps us keep our community from being overly homogenous. We have kids coming from different places. Our acceptance rate last year was 48%. Now that can vary grade by grade. And Makiba and I are happy to chat with families throughout the admission season about what that looks like by different grade. 36% of our new families this year are on need-based financial aid, and the average award is $10,000. Again, campus, we have 16 buildings on 15-acre main campus. It's fun to call it main campus now because we do have our athletic park, which is over in Annapolis Roads. And we're 2 blocks from the bay, and we have another playing field down, our beach field, we call it, down near the bay, like the song. Now this slide is actually one that I share with all 4 divisions. So it's not lower school specific because we could have 2 or 3 of these for just lower school. But I do like to give families a sense of the overarching reasons, the most common reasons why families are looking at Key School. And there's a lot of bullet points that aren't on here. I talked about how diverse our student body is. Um, but I would say our commitment to teaching 21st century skills over just rote content is what makes us different. And Matthew is more diplomatic than I am about talking about what makes Key different. I tend to talk about what makes Key better, but that's just me. I know I'm in this role for a reason. I love the school. And I really firmly believe that the way we teach is the hard way and the right way to teach. Um, the program can really stretch for kids. I've had students come to us that were going into kindergarten, but their public school was going to put them into third grade because they were reading at such a high level or they weren't being challenged. We were able to put those children in with their peer groups and stretch with them because of that ratio, but also because our rigor is not created by the amount of paper that we throw at them. We are able to give them complex concepts and really work with them. And again, it's an amazing program. Um, you're going to learn a lot more about what makes us, what the integration of programming, the balance. And so I want to move along so you can hear from the members of the lower school. Um, the last slide I'm going to show, and again, this is outcomes, and we are a school that's all about the journey. It's not just about the destination, but when families are thinking about coming to Key School or any independent school for that matter, it's an investment long term. And um, I think most families, if not all families, it's probably what we all have in common here at Key School. Academics come first, but the reason we chose Key School is our approach. Um, like I said, how the academic rigor for kids when they're older, it doesn't come from the sheer volume of content. It comes from teaching them the skills, giving them primary sources instead of just spoon feeding them from textbooks. It is from Kiwi to 12th grade, Key School is committed to that. But I always say that, and I want to show families these outcomes because it's important for them to know while we're not teaching the tests, our students are really good at taking tests. Our kids are smart, but they also are able to take these tests. And again, we don't have to hone the test taking skill day in and day out in order for them to excel. When the time comes, and maybe, and I'm hoping for all of us, when our children are at the age where they're applying to college, that it's going to be a portfolio for them to share the research they did in an independent study instead of having to share their SAT scores. That'd be great. And I hope, and I think it will happen actually. But until that time comes, I do like to share some of these statistics and the outcomes. Before we move over to the lower school division, we're going to show an inquiry-based learning video. And again, this will give you a glimpse into the classroom. And I will be here, and I'm also going to be in the second grade meeting. If anyone has questions, certainly afterwards, you can reach out to me. Um, I'm easy to find on the website. So thank you again, and I'm going to move into the video portion again.